These are few corporates in which I have done the training. My total experience of training freshers and laterals in corporate is nearly 18 plus years. Okay. Now, let us directly jump into the training part. Let us not waste time. Whatever questions you are having about the training, we can discuss it in the last half an hour. So this session will run at least for 1.5 hours. Within 1 hour, I cannot complete any topic. So what is the topic for today? It is object-oriented concepts. So in this particular webinar, let us understand about the object-oriented concepts. We will see an example of what is a class, what are the instance variables, what is a static variable, how to create an object, what is the purpose of constructor, and few more topics. Okay. So every webinar, we will slowly develop the constructs of Java. So now let us start with the object-oriented concepts. Everybody knows what are the object-oriented concepts. What are they? So it starts with abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Yeah. So these are the 4 object-oriented concepts. So now let us understand it in detail. Okay. I hope you all can see my screen. First, let us understand what is abstraction. So most of you know what is the definition of abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the unwanted details. What exactly is the meaning of it? Suppose say I want to drive a car. When I am driving the car, as a user, as an end user of the car, I am not bothered about how the wheel is connected to the brake or how the wheel is connected, how the accelerator is connected to the brake. For me, when I press the accelerator, the car has to move forward. And when I press the brake, the car has to stop. I don't have to bother about the internal details like the car's engine, the working of a car. Correct? So the back-end details are completely hidden. Another example is we can take an ATM example. I am going to take money from an ATM. Most of you would have done it, right? So what you do, you enter your PIN number, you enter the amount that you want to withdraw. If it is having money, it is going to give you the money. You are not bothered about how much money every day they are storing in the ATM, from which bank it is coming, who is coming and storing the data, money, and what is the technology that is used in the back end for storing these money. We have never thought about it. I'll tell them one more simple example. What we are all doing. This is actually Christmas time, right? Everybody goes for online purchase. So what do? You go, suppose I want to buy a new mic. What I do? I go to the website, any e-commerce site, I'll search for the mic. If the mic that I want is available, I will order it. I am not bothered about from where it is coming, how many times, how many days it is going to come, and what is that particular technology that website is using. I'm not bothered about it, right? For me, suppose I want the mic in a faster manner, like say, I have to be a Prime member, so that maybe if I order today, I will get it tomorrow. So whether it is having any discount sale, whether it is having any offer, those are the things an end user will think of. He has not bothered about the backend details of any application. The same scenario is in case of Java. In Java, when I am creating an application, suppose I am creating an application. So when I have an application, what is that? It is going to have flow. There is an end user, right? A client. From there, it has to go to the backend. Again, there will be one layer. From here, it is going to the backend. So there will be multiple layers, and then it is going to connect to the database. As an end client, I am not bothered about what is the backend technology, which database the application is using, how they have implemented it, what is the logic they have written inside it. For me, when I want to call the method, when I am calling the method, I want the exact implementation, what I'm looking for. If I want to calculate the area of shape, or if I want to get the list of books by a particular author, so it has to return me the details. I am not bothered about the backend details. So how abstraction is achieved in Java? So what is the advantage actually? Suppose say, now initially I'm using a database like MySQL. In the backend, they are using MySQL. Suddenly, they are moving from MySQL to Oracle. Will it affect the front-end client? No, not at all. It is not going to affect the front-end client at all because he is not bothered about the backend details. Just like you are ordering in Amazon. Now, your product is supposed to come today. Suppose that particular delivery person is not available. So what will happen? Somehow they will arrange some other person who will deliver your item in the appropriate time or in the scheduled time what you have requested for. It means as a end user, you are not bothered about who is going to deliver it. You want it on that particular scheduled time. Same way as a client, I'm not bothered about the implementation or bothered about the backend database. When I call the method requesting for some output, it has to give me the result. I'm going to use it. That's what is abstraction. I hope it is clear. In Java, abstraction is achieved with the help of abstract classes and interfaces. Yes. So this is the first object-oriented concept. The next object-oriented concept is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Binding code and data. What exactly is the meaning of it? See, encapsulate, capsulating something. What is a capsule? It has got some medicine inside that. That is what is a capsule, right? So what is the meaning of encapsulation? Encapsulation is how actually you are going to show your data. Let me explain with a simple example. You are all students or you are all working in an office. So what you do when you're going to the office, you are carrying your handbag, if you are, handbag, or you'll be taking your wallet, water bottle. What will you do? You will keep your water bottle outside, right? You will keep your water bottle outside. Anybody will come and take the water bottle and they will drink the water. Why? Because you have kept it outside. It is public. I am not bothered about anybody using the water bottle. Of course, there are many people, what they will do? They'll keep the water bottle also inside their handbag or inside their bag, whatever they are taking to office. But what about the purse, the wallet? I will not keep it outside. Either I will keep it in my pocket, pant pocket, or I will keep it in my handbag so that nobody can use it. So whenever I'm having a wallet, I'm keeping it private. So if you want others to use your method, make them public. If you don't want others to use your method and variables, make them private. That is as simple as it is. That is encapsulation. So when you talk about Java, in Java, what does a class have? A class has variables and methods. Correct? Now, if I want others to use my variables, I can make them public. If I do not want others to use my variables, I can make them private. Same is the scenario of methods also. In one thing you should remember, in case of variables, they are all called as instance variables, which belong to me. My variable. If I say class employee, it belongs to the employee class. So they are employees instance variable. So I cannot use it. So what should I do? I cannot allow others to use it. So what I will do? I'll make them private. But others have to know if I want to create an employee object, if the employee class variables are private, how can I access it? So for that, you will make methods as public. Of course, you can have private methods also. The purpose of private method means it can be used only within the class. Just like your wallet is outside, only you inside, so only you can use your wallet. Your water bottle, your pen is outside, anybody can use it. If your methods are public, everybody can access the methods. If your variables are private, you do not want to expose the variables. So what you will do, you will create public methods. You will assign the variables in the method so others can access it. So this is what is encapsulation. Encapsulation is binding code and data, means this is what it is. A class can have variables and methods. If you make the variables private, it cannot be accessed outside. If you're making the variables and methods public, it can be accessed outside. And in case of, there is a concept called as package. Package is nothing but a folder. In one package, I can have multiple Java classes. Okay. So this is also encapsulation. One package. Now, actually, there is a concept called as module. From one module, I can send the data to other module. Only if I expose, others can use it. So that is a concept which was introduced in Java 9. So the second concept is encapsulation. Shall I move on to the next one? I hope it is clear. What is the meaning of instance variable? So few of you have joined today new. So for them, just let me explain. What is an object? Any real world entity can be an object. So if you see my setup, what is an object? Laptop is an object, pen is an object, mic is an object, mouse is an object. And I'm an employee. Assume I'm an employee. Employee is an object. So any real world entity can be an object. See, guys, actually, whatever you are seeing in the real world, I love the way Java is. Java is like kind of everything bound together with the real world. So, if you take any e-commerce site, so if you are ordering food, that is also an object. So, I want to order food. Menu is an object. Then order is an object. Billing is an object. Order history is an object. Okay. What we have understood, what is an object. Now, let me take employee. When you say employee, what are the properties that an employee can have? Whatever you are seeing in the employee ID card. Okay. So your employee name, employee ID, right? Then city, his mobile number, his blood group. Okay. So all these, whatever you employ, his salary, his department in which he is in. So these all are properties that belong to a particular employee. So they are all called as instance variable. So every employee, suppose I'm having employee one will have the name as Ram, employee ID is 10, he belongs to Bangalore, he is having some mobile number, his blood group is B positive, he is salary South 1000, department, some department admin. Now assume I'm creating another employee E2. What about E2? E2, his employee name is John, his ID is 11, he belongs to Bangalore, his phone number A positive 2000, like that. So each and every employee will have the same instance variables, but the values are different. Please understand that. Every employee you are creating, E1, it will have its own memory allocation. E2, it will have its own memory allocation with all these properties. I hope it is clear. We will see that in detail now. Now, what will be common for all the employees? Yeah, all the employees have to come at 9 o'clock and they have to leave by 5 o'clock. So, office timings. All the employees have to take training. So, training courses, some course they have to take. It is mandatory for some induction program. So, it is mandatory for every employee to take the course. So, whatever is common for all the employees, they are all called as static variables. Your company name, right? So static variables. I hope it is clear. So whatever is unique for each and every employee, they are all called as instance variables. Whatever is common for all the employees, they are all called as static variables. I hope it is clear. Yes. Now we will move on to the third object-oriented concept, inheritance. What is inheritance? See, the name itself implies I'm going to inherit something from somebody. Suppose there is a class, somebody has created a class, a vehicle class. The vehicle class is having model, the vehicle class is having price, it is having name, brand, then mileage, something like this. Now I am giving the class name as vehicle. Someone wants to create a car class. Car class is also having the same properties just like the vehicle class. So rather than me adding all the properties in the vehicle all the properties over here again, what I can do? I can extend the vehicle class. So car class can extend vehicle, extends vehicle. So whatever properties are available in the car vehicle class is available for the car class also. One more example. Suppose say you are given an assignment. Okay. Two of you are working in two different colleges. Both of you have got the same assignment IoT. So rather than you sitting and doing the assignment, what you will do? You will copy the same assignment for your college assignment. So the idea of inheritance is if somebody is having something already available, rather than you creating it again, you are going to reuse it. So the purpose of inheritance is reusability. One other example, very simple example, I'll tell you. Assume your parents are there. Your parents are having a very big house, a car, a bike. So in the initial stages, at least when you're working, when you're in your school timing, you would have not got a new mobile. What they will do? They will give their old mobile to you. So reusability. Again, when you're going to college, immediately they will not buy you a new bike. Of course, few of the parents, they will buy a new bike and give it to you. But in certain places, what they will do? They will just get a second-hand bike. If they are having it, they will give the same bike to you and they will ask you to ride the same bike. That is reusability. Whatever my father is having, I'm inheriting it. What and all I'm inheriting? His mobile, his laptop, his bike, his car, his house, his properties, everything comes to us, right? The name itself implies it is inheritance. I am inheriting the properties of my parents. So similarly, a class can inherit the properties from another class. So this class becomes the parent class. So vehicle becomes your parent class. Car becomes your child class. In Java, we call them as superclass and subclass. Remember, the subclass can access anything and everything of the superclass. It means whatever your parents are having, you are allowed to access. You can access everything, their car, their bike, their house, their TV, their food, everything. But except the private members, you cannot access their bank balance because it is their authority, right? Some rules they are having, they will not allow you to do that. So, a super subclass can access anything and everything of the superclass except private members. Okay. What about the superclass? Can the superclass access the subclass methods and variables? No, not at all. Do you share your mobile details or your photographs, whatever you have taken in your phone to your parents? You will not even allow your parents to touch your mobile, right? So it means the superclass cannot access the properties of the subclass, but the subclass can access anything and everything of the superclass except private members. Even I am having a son, my son can access my phone, my laptop, my everything, but I cannot even touch his phone. So that is what is inheritance. In Java, what type of inheritance is supported? Simple and multi-level. What is simple? One superclass, one subclass. The child class can inherit only from the father or only from the mother. That is one simple. What is multi-level? Grandfather, father, child. So C inherits from B. B inherits from A. So C automatically will inherit from A. I am trying to get all the properties of my father. My father has got some properties, some house properties from his father. So automatically it will come to me. Whatever my grandfather is having, automatically it will come to me. I hope it is clear. So in case of Java, what is the purpose of inheritance? Reusability. Rather than you rewrite the code again and again and again, you can use the properties and methods which are available in the class already. Okay. And the purpose of inheritance is reusability. Java supports simple and multi-level inheritance. This is the third one. Okay. Now, what is the last one? We have seen abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance. The last one is polymorphism. What is the meaning of polymorphism? Poly means many. Morph means form. One name taking many forms is called as polymorphism. Okay, that is, take one person. If you take about me, in one place I'm a mother, one place I'm a teacher, one place I'm a student, one place I'm a, like what? I'm a wife, in one place I'm a sister, and in one place I'm a daughter. So I'm playing so many roles. So how do I play the role? Based on that particular person, I play the role. To my son, I'm a mother. To my students, I'm a teacher. To my teacher, I'm a student. So based on that particular functionality, I have to change myself. Okay, what is the advantage of using polymorphism? The purpose of polymorphism is I don't have to remember multiple method names again and again. Let me explain this with an example. Assume I want to calculate the, I want to find the mileage of, or I want to see how the vehicle moves. Okay, say for example, let us take a vehicle class. Polymorphism, we can just take it in two different ways. One is overloading and another one is overriding. So now I'm explaining the concept of overriding. Under vehicle, I'm having two classes, two or three classes, car, bike, and what here? Truck. We'll have three different classes. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to find how actually a vehicle moves. So the functionality is move. So if you talk about move, it is going to be different for car, different for bike, different for truck. Only one thing, that is, it is going to move. But what about the functionality? The functionality varies for car, varies for bike, and varies for truck. What I can do, it is very simple. I can write move car, I can write move bike, and also I can use it as move truck. But what is the problem? If I am creating these many number of methods, I cannot remember all the method names. So rather than that, I will have one single method name. And if it is a superclass subclass scenario, I can use the same method and I can provide a different functionality. Remember, in case of polymorphism, there are two types. We will discuss that now. So in case of car, the moving function is different. In case of bike, the moving function is different. In case of truck also, the moving function is different. Let me explain you with another simple example. Under polymorphism, we are having two types. One is overloading. The other one is overriding. So someone asked actually, can overloading happen in two classes? We will discuss what it is. What is overloading? See, I told you, sometimes we get overloaded with multiple works, right? So for me, like I have to do the office work, take care of my kids, do the cooking, go do the household work, do the outside work, so many things. As a student, what you are, or as a person looking for job, what are the overloading things that is happening to you? You have to study, look for job, attend webinars, then you have to, what is that? Do self-studying. Then you have to also, you need entertainment. You have to go outside for entertainment purpose. You have to go to your temples. So many things are there. One person being overloaded with so many tasks is called as overloading. Okay. What is it exactly? Let us understand it. Suppose say, I want to calculate the area of different shapes. So I am creating a shape class shape. In the shape class, I know I am having some 10 shapes. So what I have to do? I need to calculate area of square, then area of triangle, then area of rectangle, area of trapezium. So everything is having a different functionality, okay? Some is taking rectangle is taking two parameters, x comma y. Area of triangle, it is also taking two parameters, x comma y. Then area of circle, it is taking only one parameter, x, just like this. Then area of trapezium. So many methods are that I have to remember. Okay, so now I have given only 5 shapes. Assume I'm having some 20 different shapes. In this case, as a developer, it is very difficult for me to remember all the method names. But rather than this, what I can do, I can create one single method area. Okay, now I will give int x. In this case, what it is taking one parameter. Now I will give area int x comma int y. So what is overloading? Oh, in case of overloading, I am giving the same method name, but the number of parameters are the data type also can be different. So now if the third method, area, if I give again int a comma int b, what will happen? This is also int x comma int y. This is also int a comma int b. Guys, is the pace okay or should I slow down?
Okay.
For everybody?
Yeah, okay.
If you want me to slow down, I will slow down. Okay. You can unmute your mic and tell me. So here, if I give int a comma int b, here the number of parameters also becomes different. So what I will do, I'll change the data type, float b. So here in this case, we are calculating the area of triangle. Now what I can do, I want to do calculate the area of circle. So this time I will give double x. Okay, now area of trapezium. So assuming it is taking 4 parameters, int x, comma y, comma z, comma b. So 4 parameters. Now what it is, I know I want to calculate only one functionality. What it is? Area. The answer that I'm giving is, you have to understand why we should go for overloading. You all know what is overloading. When I ask what is overloading, you say that the method or the constructor can be overloaded with 0 to any number of parameters. In case of overloading, the method name is same. The number of parameters or the data type of the parameter is different. This is all definition, guys. There was a question asked. When will you use overloading or when to use overloading? Assume I want to perform a functionality. What is the functionality? Area. Rather than me creating multiple methods, what I can do is I can give one method name. with different number of parameters. Based on the number of parameters or the data type of the parameter, the appropriate functionality will be called. Okay. What is the use? Where they have used it? In Java, there are many methods which are similar to this. There is a method called as toString. In case of toString, if I pass it is having integer I. Then it is having int I. What about int? It can be of decimal. Decimal, you know, no, right? Radix 10. Binary. Radix will be 2. So what is the value that you are going to pass? So it will be like int radix. I will explain this, guys. Then it is taking toString of double. Then it takes, so these many number of methods are available. So this is a overloaded method. That is, I want to convert my integer into a toString, into a string object. What is the meaning of it? I want to convert this proper 100 into double quotes 100. Is it clear? So so if they have not got the topic of overloading, how they would have created it? Integer. So the method, if I am a developer, what should I write? I'll be writing the code as integer toString. And in this case, I will write int toString. And in this case, I will write double toString, long toString. See how many methods you have to remember. It's very tough, right? So what they have done, they have created one single method toString. Based on the number of parameters or the data type, it will go and call the appropriate function. In this case also, you can pass decimal value, octal value, hexadecimal value. But how the compiler will know that you are passing that? Suppose I am passing 100. If I'm passing simply 100, it will understand, okay, fine, it is a decimal value. Now, if I'm passing 100, comma 2, in this case, it is a proper decimal value. In this case, what is the value of 100, guys? Binary value 100. What is the value of binary 100? 4. Correct or not? Binary 100. 1, 0, 0. Similarly, if I can pass what? 0, 1, 2, 3. This becomes octal value. So I have to pass 8. So one method being overloaded with different number of parameters. What is the purpose of overloading? Again, I'm repeating. If I want to perform one particular functionality, like calculating area, getting the volume, or calculating bonus, based on the number of parameters, the appropriate functionality will be called. If we pass int x, square area. Int a, float b, okay, triangle area. 4 parameters, trapezium area. 4 parameters with different data type, parallelogram area, like that. So this is overloading. Overloading is called as compile time polymorphism. So that we will see later what is overloading, why it is called as compile time polymorphism. The next concept is overriding. What is the purpose of overriding? Whenever I want to get multiple functionalities, I have to use overriding. I will go in for the same shape. Guys, please mute your mic. Okay. Suppose I will take the same example, shape class. Okay. Under shape, this time I'm going to have few subclasses. One is a square class, triangle, rectangle, and maybe whatever. Okay. So, why we are going for overloading first, writing first, let us understand. In the previous scenario, you saw that you are having a shape class. You created multiple area methods for shape, for square, triangle, rectangle, trapezium, parallelogram, then so many other things. Like, okay, suppose the number of shapes go on and increasing continuously. So what will happen to this class? You are going and adding methods continuously, which is wrong. Once you have created a class, you should not modify it. Okay, that is actually a design principle. Once I have built a house, I should not modify the exteriors. Interior, whatever I want, I can do it. If I modify the exteriors, what will happen? My house will collapse. So same. So instead of doing this, I will create one superclass shape with multiple subclasses: square, triangle, rectangle. What I can do? Now I can create one single method area. Okay. Now in this case, so int x, int y are simply without parameters. Now what I can do? I can override area in square class. in triangle class, and I can provide my own implementation. I hope it is clear. One more example I will tell you. I'm having an employee class. I want to calculate the bonus of different categories of employee. So rather than me writing it as calc bonus manager, calc bonus programmer, calc bonus tech lead, what I can do? I can create subclasses. Manager, tech lead, developer. Like this I can create, and I can implement those methods in these subclasses. I hope it is clear. I'll create one calc bonus method and I will override it in the manager class, tech class, and developer class. And I will provide my own implementation. Is this clear? So this concept is called as overriding. The purpose of overriding is to provide or is to get different implementation from the subclasses. Is this clear? So I hope the object-oriented concepts are clear. The first one is abstraction. As you know, it is used for hiding the unwanted details. It is achieved with the help of abstract classes and interfaces. The next one is encapsulation. Encapsulation, as you know, like if I want to have the code properly. So for this, we will be using access specifiers like private, public. I mean, there are access specifiers like protected and all. We will see this in the upcoming sessions. Then inheritance. The purpose of inheritance is reusability. Java supports only simple and multi-level inheritance. And in case of inheritance, when we are telling it, the subclass can access anything and everything of the superclass except private members. The superclass cannot access anything of the subclass. And the last one is polymorphism. Under polymorphism, we are having... Guys, can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Under polymorphism, we are having overloading and overriding. The purpose of overloading is if I want to have similar functionality, rather than remembering multiple method names, you can go in for one single method with different types of parameters. Under overriding, the purpose of overriding is to get different functionality is from the subclasses. I'll tell you one simple example of overriding, okay? You talk about an e-commerce site, okay? In the e-commerce site only, whether they are selling only products? No. Initially, they started with products. Then what they do? They diversified to music. Then video. Then what else? Now eats. Correct? Then what else? Yeah, groceries. Now they are selling groceries also. So one single functionality or one single class diversified itself for multiple functionalities. Rather than doing it in one single place, I can diversify to multiple things. Okay, fine. Now we have understood all these. Now let us see how to create a class, how to work with an object. Any questions in all this? Anybody having any questions? Okay. Now we will understand what is a class. Already you all know what is a class. We'll see how to create an object. What is a constructor? Okay. First I will explain it here. Assume I want to create an employee class. So for that, let me create a class employee. Let us add just 2 instance variables, okay? Private, okay, initially let us not use private. Let me give the name as string, employee name, int, employee ID. See the guys, what I am seeing, few of you shared your code, okay? Remember, whenever you are learning, please learn in such a way that what a corporate is expecting. Do not give lowercase. I have seen people giving their name as class names. It is something like class Priya, class hello, class welcome. Do not do that. Class loop, no. Give proper name. The first letter should be a capital letter. Excuse me. Always the class name should be a noun. Okay, a proper noun. Next is the instance variables. Whenever you are giving the variable names, do not use underscore. Will it not work if I use underscore? Of course it will work. It is not an issue at all. That is, can I convert my drawing hall into I'm having a hall in my house, okay. Can I convert it into a bedroom? If I'm going to lie down, put my bed and sleep there, nobody is going to question me. Nobody will come and say, hey, you have put a bed in the hall, you are sleeping there. It will work fine. Nobody can question me. Can I eat in my hall? Yeah, of course I can do it. Can I cook in my hall? Yes, I can do it. Because it is my house. Similarly, if you are going to write a class, if you are going to use underscore, if you are giving lowercase, will your class work? It will work perfect. 100% it will work perfectly fine. Most of your students, you are studying, sitting in, you are staying in your hostel. Most of your people working in companies. Few of you are looking for job. You are staying in PGs. Your PG, one room. That room is going to be your bedroom, your hall, your dining hall, your kitchen, everything, right? Nobody is going to question. Suppose say you are going, you are making your house very nice house where few people are sharing. Now in this scenario, you cannot take your bed, put in the hall and say that I'm going to sleep there. It is not possible, right? Because you are connected with some other person or some outsiders. There are PGs where they do 4 sharing, 3 sharing. So that time you cannot tell, no, I will come and stand in the hall and I'm going to do cooking there. I will sleep only in the hall or I will take bath only in the hall. You cannot tell that because there are few other people, strangers who are also staying in the same PG. Because now apartments are converted into PGs, right? So I am telling in that viewpoint. So similarly in Java, if you are going to write the code, if you are working only in Java, it will work perfectly fine. But if you are going to use framework like Spring, in that scenario, if you are giving underscore in all these cases, it will not understand that you are using instance variables. It is completely wrong. And when you're writing a code with underscore in the corporates, when you're working, they will check your code. What is the compatibility of this particular code? It is not correct. It will say that the code that you have written is not compatible. So these are few things you have to remember when you are creating a Java class. It is not necessary that you have to learn from me. Wherever you are going, whichever site you are taking, even if they have added underscore, please do not use underscore. Number one, please do not give capital name. I have seen many people giving it as EMP name. I really get a heart attack when I'm seeing this. Employee ID. Please do not do that. Why? Again, I'm saying now if you are working only in Java, guys, please understand nobody works only with Java. Everybody is using frameworks. Most of the corporate startups, they are using frameworks. Java is like LKG, UKG, first standard, okay? Only if your LKG, UKG, first standard is correct, then slowly you can just develop it. If I don't know when I'm writing 7, if I have to learn to write 7 like this, 4 like this. If you notice, most of the kids will learn 7 like this, they will write 4 like this, reverse. This will not work for them in the longer run. Somehow, at least in first standard, they have to change it to 7 and 4 like this, correct? When you are in LKG and UKG, it is fine, perfectly fine. Your code will work correctly. But you will not be stopping with Java, you will be moving to Spring. Spring is a framework. It will understand your code. It is going to build the application for you. In that case, it will not accept capital letters. So please be very careful when you are doing it. So what is the right way of writing a class? Class, first letter should be in capital. Okay, please make it sure that you are making it in capital. Again, I am repeating, many people, they ask me the question. See, I am writing the code. Everything I have written in the same class, it is working perfectly fine. If you are a person who is staying in a PG, your room can be a dining hall, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, everything. Once you get married, you go to an apartment. When you are staying in a flat, you cannot have your hall for everything, right? So you'll have a separate dining hall, a separate kitchen, a separate bedroom, separate bathroom. So remember this, when you are connected to a third party framework, you have to be very careful. Now I am going to connect to Spring. Assume that you will be connecting to Spring. This is not that you are not going to learn LKG and you are going to stop your studies. It is going to go forward. So be very careful. Now, let us add the instance variables. Employee name. Only camel case, guys. Camel case mandatory. You should not give employee n lowercase. Int employee ID. Now, how to create an object? First, let us create it in the same class. Public static void main. In the previous video, we have seen how to work with public static void main. Now, inside this, I have to create an employee object. How do you create an employee object? First, when I write employee,
employee. Here also don't give employee. It is not the right way. It is not a very good way of coding it. Whenever I am teaching, day one itself, I change my participants. They would have learned Java and come. When I am seeing this code, I delete the code. Directly I go to their system, I delete it directly. Okay, because if you do not do it on first line, then you will never learn that. So employee. Whatever class name you are having, that should be your here, employee. So even the moment you give like this, what happens? You are creating a reference employee like this. Okay, it is just reference. Just like how you write int x. Okay, at this particular point of time, what is the value of employee? It will be null. This is null. Clear? I have not given anything. I am just putting a semicolon. It is null. Now I want to allocate memory. That is, I want to create my first employee object. So I can remove this. I can write it as equal to new employee. The moment you give new, it means you are allocating memory. How do you do that? Now here, in this case, we have to allocate memory, right? Arrow, this is the part. So remember, this whatever you are writing on your right hand side, this new employee, this is your object. This is just a reference. This is a reference pointing to the employee object. I will repeat, this is not an object. Whenever you are learning, sometimes you would have learned this employee is an object. No, it is just a reference pointing to this employee object. So this part is your object. Okay, where it is memory is allocated. The moment you give this, what will happen? It is having employee name and employee ID. So the employee name, what data type it is? String. So it will be null. Employee ID. What will be the value of employee ID? It is int. So the value will be 0. The instance variables will take the default value of that particular data type. If I am having double salary, then what will be the value of salary? It will be 0.0. Okay, so this is the initial stage. Suppose if I am creating another employee 1 equal to new employee. If I use this, in this case, what will happen? It will not point. So now you are creating another reference, employee 1, which is pointing to another object, new employee. Clear? So here also employee name will be null, employee ID will be 0. Now, we will delete little bit of this. I will write the code here. I will show it to you from Eclipse also. First, you have to understand the concept. If this is strong, it will be easier for you. Now we have created it. What is the next step? For the first employee, I want to assign value. So for that, we will be using dot operator. Guys, remember, I have not started using constructor. So I am directly using the instance variables. The instance variables are not private. I have given it directly. So employee dot, what are the instance variables? Employee name and employee ID. So I can assign value. Employee name equal to Shri, semicolon. Then employee dot employee ID equal to 10. So now the value will be changed from null to Shri and employee ID will be 10. What about this employee 1? I have to assign value again. Employee 1 dot employee name equal to something. Employee 1 dot employee ID equal to 20. Is this clear? Till this part, is it clear for everybody? Now, what we will do is, we will try this from Eclipse. Okay. Now, few of you were not available last time. In the first webinar, I have shown how to download Eclipse. Eclipse will come as an exe file. You double click on it, extract it. You have to download, you have to install the second one, Java Enterprise Edition Eclipse. Okay. Eclipse for web developers. And when you are downloading, remember to select Java 17 or Java 8. It is your choice. Select it and you have to install Eclipse. Now, Eclipse is a very good IDE for working with Java applications. You can either use Eclipse or you can use Notepad++. Do not use VS Code. VS Code is only for front-end developers. Okay. Now, let us see how to create a new project. File, new, Java project. Now, let us give the project name. My project. See, use default location. It will be added to this particular location only. My execution environment is Java SE70. Guys, the moment you open Eclipse, automatically you will get a screen like this. The left-hand side is Package Explorer. The middle part will be the place where you will be writing the code. The bottom part is the place where you will be getting the output. So this is common. So you will get it. My project, the Java version is Java SE70. Click Next. Now, inside my project, I'm having SRC. SRC is the source folder within which you will have to create packages. In the previous video itself, webinar 1, I have showed how to create a package. And now also I'll tell you what is a package. A package is nothing but a folder. In case of Java, it is like an initial. If I take the string class, it is from java.lang package. So how will I write it? Java.lang.string. That is how it has to be. Okay. Click finish. Now it is created. You see, this is the project. This is the JRE system library. The version is Java 17. Now SRC. Under SRC, we have to create a Java class. Remember, every class has to be created inside a package. The package name should be a reverse URL. And the package name is nothing but the folder names. Okay. So how to create it? Select SRC. Right click. Everything is right click only. Right click. New class. So one other important thing, every one of us is having an initial of our parents. Here also, it is mandatory. Every class that you are creating should have an initial. The initial is nothing but the package name. Package is just a folder. The package name should be either 3 or 4. That is 3 different words or 4 different words. It has to be reverse URL. What is a URL? Like www.shristitechacademy.com, www.something.com. So what will be the reverse URL? com.something.some layer. So here, let me create it. com.shristi. After this, so first one will be com or edu or org. The second one is, if you are working in a project, it will talk about the company for which you are doing the project. If I'm doing it for Harley Davidson, if I'm doing for Shristi, if I'm doing for some ABC company, I will have to give that. And after this, the third one will be the layer in which you are working. Whether you are working in a service layer, or you are going to create an exception, or if it is a client one. Guys, I'm repeating, whatever I'm teaching, I'm doing it in the way that I do in a corporate. It is, if you are doing it in a normal scenario, you simply create com. It will work perfectly fine. If I want to access this class outside this particular package, only if the package name is available, I can access it. I am Sripriya. If I don't have a house or address, nobody can deliver items to me. But if I'm having an address, I can give my address, right? Similarly, every class will have an address. It is nothing but the package name. com.shristi. We are doing training. So let us give the class name as training. Package name is training. What is the class name? Class name is employee. Most of you have the doubt, can I have a private class in Java? Do you see? Is it visible now? No, right? So it means in Java, a class can be either public or default. Default means package. It means if you do not want to add anything in front of the class, that is package level. Remember this, again I'm repeating, in Java, a class can have only public or default access specifier. Default means if you don't add anything in front of the class. Okay, and again many people ask, what is the default access specifier for a Java class? There is nothing like default access specifier. If you do not add anything, it is a default access specifier. If you add public, it is public. There is nothing like by default it comes with this. No, nothing like that. It can be abstract, it can be final. It cannot be static. Okay. And these are all, whatever you're seeing in the bottom, they are all from Java 17. So do not bother about that. This one, non-sealed. What is the super class for all the classes? object class. See, the object class also it is coming with the initial. There are two Sripriyas in this particular apartment. I am here. The next person in my neighbor is also Sripriya. How will they identify which Sripriya this particular package has to go? Based on the house number or based on the initial. So similarly, there are multiple classes with the same name. List is an interface in java.awt package. It is also in java.util package. So it is mandatory that you should use package. Even if you are doing a simple basic program, please create a package and do it. Guys, most of you know Java. The only problem is you are not learning it in the right way. Okay, that is my idea. My thing is, I want to teach the proper Java, what a corporate is expecting. It is not that you go, you learn Java, somehow you crack the interview and go in. You can crack the interview, you can go in, but you cannot survive. If you really want to do it in the right way. When I learned, from the beginning only, I learned it in this manner only. Okay, now let us continue. Java.lang.object, let me click finish. I'm not going to add public static void main. I'll click finish. com.shristi.www. Okay, very good. Actually, we don't have to use www. In that particular place, you will have multiple layers. Let me show you. See, I have got an example. I have got an application. See, can you see? com.bookapp. Bookapp is my project. That project will have different layers. When you take me to your house, what will you do? You have built a new house, so you'll take me to different rooms. See, this is the bathroom, this is the bedroom, this is the hall, this is the kitchen, this is the balcony, this is the veranda. Like that, you'll show me different places, right? Similarly, you have to have different structures. See here, this is the service layer. This is the place where business logic will happen. This is the util package. This is the place where I can create utility classes. This is the model class. This is the place where I will have a Java bean. So like that, you will have to separate it. What is the purpose of separating? Will it not work if I don't separate? Again, the same thing. Whatever you are writing, you can write it in the same place. It will work perfectly fine. But you have to have a proper structure. As I told, com dot reverse URL we told, right? Com dot Shristi dot, it is not www. Instead, we can give the layer, in which layer you are working in. Service layer. Service layer means it will handle business logic. Repository layer, it means it will connect to the database. Like that, you have to separate it. So what is the purpose of it? Okay, guys, when you go to the hotel, when you go to big hotels or restaurants, what they will do? They'll have a, what is that here? Like, everywhere they will have some boarding or something to say that, okay, this is the way to go to this particular place. This is the, wherever you are going, they'll be having some signals, some written boards, right? What is the purpose of it? It is only for my code developer to understand if something goes wrong. Okay, she has done something wrong in the service layer. It is not mandatory for me to go and check everywhere. I'll just go and check in this particular place. So maintenance is easier, fault tolerance is easier. For all these purposes only, they are trying to follow the structure. Okay, now we have created the class. I didn't select public, so it is coming as class employee. Now I can go and change it. Remember, again I am repeating, there is no default access specifier or anything. If you do not add anything in front of the class, it is called as default access specifier. That's all. By default, the class is not private, it is not public, it is not default, nothing. Okay, now we need the main method. So how to create the main method? Main control space. It is public static void main. This is the place where this is the entry point for the JVM. Now let us, okay, before doing that, we need to add instance variables. So let us add the instance variables. String employee name, int employee ID, or EMP ID. That's also fine. Okay, EMP ID, that's also fine. Now, and let us also add double salary. Double salary. Now inside this, let me create employee. See, the moment I give control space, automatically it is also giving me a content assist. Use this variable. That's what it is saying. Right, employee equal to new employee. The moment you give this, what actually it will do is, it will go in search of a constructor. This one will go in search of a constructor. Did we add any constructor over here? No. So automatically the compiler will create a constructor as employee round bracket without any parameters. I'm writing with the mouse, so that is why my handwriting is like this. Without any parameters, it will create it. I am repeating it. The moment you give new employee, automatically the compiler will go in search of a default constructor. From here, it will go in search of a default constructor. You have not added any constructor, so the compiler will generate a default constructor. Employee round bracket curly braces. What it will do? It will initialize the instance variables to the default value. But remember, from employee, where it will go? Actually, the first line of any constructor will be super keyword. It means it will go to the object class. That is, what is the super class of employee? Object class. It will, from here, it will go to object class. So what is the flow of this particular application? Employee. Make this as null and equal to new employee. From here, it will go in search of a constructor. You have not created any constructor. So automatically the compiler will generate a default constructor. From there, it will automatically introduce a keyword called a super. From here, it will go in search of the superclass. The superclass of employee is object. In this superclass, automatically the values will be initialized to the default values. So this will become null, this will become 0, salary will become 0.0. So from object class, it will come back to this employee constructor. We have not written it, okay? It's all hidden. From there again, it will come to this place. In the next line, okay, now I have done it. In the next line, close this. If I try to print system.out.println employee name or sysO employee ID, what will be the value? It will provide the default values. Let us see this. So how to run the application? Already we have seen. Select your file, right click, run as Java application. See, null and 0. It is providing the default value. Or how to run it? Control F11 also, function F11 also. Both will work fine. If you are using a Dell laptop, it is function F11. Okay, now let us assign values. So how do you assign value? So here, employee name equal to Shri. Employee ID equal to 10. Okay, now I'll copy these two lines and this time let us check it out. And run it. Then see, we missed one salary, right? Salary, I told you it will print 0.0. Let us check that also. Employee.salary. And let me give it as employee.salary equal to 2000. Okay, I will give it as 2000 only. See, here I'm passing an int value. It will be automatically upcasted to double. So when it is printing, it will print it as 2000.0. See that. See, did you see that? The default value also is coming as 0.0 because you have given it as double. And you have provided only a int value. It is upcasted to double. When it is printing it as 2000.0 because it is double. Now, similarly, what we can do, we can create another employee object. Now, I have to create the next employee object. So, let me copy this. I'll give it as employee1 is equal to. So, they are two different employee objects. Okay. Now, again, let us run this. Employee1, here also employee1. Let me save this and I will run it. So, we are getting the output properly. So, how many employee objects we have created? We have created 2 employee objects. Now, one more scenario I will tell you. Guys, remember, we will not usually initialize the instance variables like this. We will be using a constructor. Okay, we will see that later. Before that, I just want to show you one more interesting thing. Now, I am going to make employee1 is equal to null. So, what is the meaning of it? This is employee 1, right? Employee 1. Actually, it is pointing to an object where I have given the name as Priya. The ID is 20, salary is 4,000, something like that I have given. Now you are making employee 1 as null. What is the meaning of it? You are cutting the connection. Right? So there is no connection between this reference and the object. The object is left alone. Assume you are having a balloon. You are just holding a balloon. You are the reference. The balloon is the object. Now somebody comes and cuts that. So the balloon flies off. The object goes off. And what about you? You are a reference standing and you don't know what is there in the object. Now if I try to print employee1.name, any guess what will be the output? Employee1 dot employee name. I want to print this. Any guess what will be the output? Anybody? Yes?
Null, ma'am.
Okay, so this is null. Okay, this is null allocation. You are holding a balloon which is having some colors and everything. Somebody cut the balloon. If I am trying to come and ask you what is there inside your balloon or what are the colors in your balloon, will you be able to know what it is? What is there inside that? No. So this one during the compile time it will escape. You are trying to point to a null allocation. So this will throw null pointer exception. Okay, I will repeat. Whatever you have told is correct. Very good. Employee is null. Employee 1 is null. And you are trying to point something to an object. This fellow doesn't know. He totally came out of that object. Suppose I am sitting and watching a movie. I came out of it. How will I know what is the scene that is going in the movie? How will I know who are all the actors that are acting in the movie? Because I don't have any connection because I'm made null. So if you're trying to do that, you will get null pointer exception. See, there is a warning, some yellow color thing. It's not an error. It is a warning. If I keep the cursor, it will say that you are trying to point to a null allocation. So it will throw null pointer exception. If I keep the cursor here, it will show you. The variable employee 1 can only null at this location. So it is null pointer access. During the compile time, it will escape. I have saved it. No error, nothing. But when I try to run it, it will throw null pointer exception. Let me maximize the console here. See, where exactly the exception occurs? See, my dear guys, if after this, if I try to write some line, till that, see, Java is a both compiled and interpreted language, okay? When you compile, if something is wrong, it will not compile at all. Means it will give me an error. It will, in case of compilation, what it is doing, it is reading the whole file, then it is compiling. If something goes wrong, it will not allow you to create the class file. But what about in the running it? When it is running it, it is interpretation, line by line, it has to go. So it is reading, printing, everything. Only in line number 35, I'm getting an exception. Till that time, whatever is there, everything is getting printed. After that, in line number 35, it is not able to print anything. So it is throwing null pointer exception. The statements after that will not be executed. So it is showing that, see, cannot read field employee name, null pointer exception. Let me keep the cursor in line number 35. This is the place the exception has occurred. Clear? Okay. One last question we will have. Suppose say, I have got employee 1. Now I will remove this. Okay, let me add a dummy println statement. What is the time? Okay, one last question. Okay, we'll see this now. I want to create another employee object. Employee 2. See, in our case, I will ask a question here. I want you guys to tell me. First is I am creating employee is equal to new employee, and I am assigning values. Okay, emp dot name as Shri. So the equivalent code over here is emp, and this is pointing to an allocation, and name is Shri. Correct? Now again, next I am creating another object, employee 1. Employee 1 is equal to new employee. And this time I'm giving employee 1 dot name equal to Priya. So now what is happening? It's creating a new employee object. That is, the reference is employee 1. This reference is pointing to a new employee object where the name equal to Priya. Fine. Guys, this is an interesting thing. I want you guys to tell me. The last one is actually, I am creating employee 2. Employee 2 equal to, I am pointing this to the existing employee 1. That is, I am creating employee 2, which is pointing to employee 1. It is something like you are sitting in front of laptop and you are watching some movie. Assume you are watching Netflix. Now somebody is also coming. So this is person A. Person B is also coming and he is also going to sit together and watch the laptop. So what is the meaning of it? So what will be the value of employee 2.name? Any guess? Both the references are pointing to the same object. So what will be the value of? Yeah, very good, Priya. So both of you are sitting and watching the same movie, Netflix. Because so he is showing the TV or he is watching in his laptop Netflix only. When you go and sit with him, the same you will also watch the same movie. Now, what this fellow is doing is he doesn't want to watch the movie. Okay, now B is there, right? B, what he is doing? No, I don't want to watch Netflix. I will watch some other show. I'll just go to some music show. He is opening some music. Same way, now so here you told that the name is pointing to Priya. Now I am changing the name from Priya, my name, okay, I'm changing my name from Priya to Ram. Tell me, what will be the name of emp1.name? What will be the value of emp1.name? Ram. Ram. Why? Because, very good, excellent. Why? Because B points to employee name. B, what B is doing? B is changing the Netflix channel to some music channel. So what will happen to A? A also is forced to see the same music channel. Similarly, in employee.name, I am changing from Priya to Ram. Both the references are pointing to the same object. So both of them will get the same name only. That is very important to know, right? Okay. The last part. Now I am so what actually this fellow is doing? He doesn't want to watch anything, so he moves off. He comes out. A leaves the channel. Now B still watches something. Will A know about what B is watching? A went out. B alone is watching in something in the laptop. A will not have any clue of or idea of what B is watching. Similarly, in this case, I am making employee 1 to null. Now tell me, what will be the value of employee 2.name and what will be the value of employee 1.name? Yes?
Null pointer exception.
What about employee 2.name? Employee 2 is still pointing to this object.
Ram only.
Very good. This one is Ram. What about employee 1.name?
Null point.
Null point.
That's all. Very good. Excellent. That's all. Null pointer exception. Here, only in the previous case, both the objects, remember, these are all only references. They are pointing to an object. If you are making one object, one reference to null, using this one, you cannot access the object because you came out of that. So I cannot access anything using this employee one. That is the meaning. I hope it is clear. Yeah, so here, if I give employee 2 equal to employee 2 equal to employee 1. And now I'm trying to print employee 2 dot employee name. I'm commenting all this, only this employee 1 and employee 2 I'm having. Let us see this. So first it is, so for employee 2 dot employee name is Priya. Now as we told, we'll just change it to employee 2 dot name equal to Ram. Now let us try to print employee 1 dot employee name and employee 2 dot employee name. Both will be Ram in this case, because both the references are pointing to the same object. Now see, now what I will do, I will make employee 1 as null. It means one fellow went out. He doesn't want to sit with the other person. So I have made this reference as null. And using that, I am trying to access both objects, employee name. Remember, the moment you give null and if you are trying to access, this will throw null pointer exception. Though this is having value, after the exception, you will not see any values getting printed. Let me run this. See, after this, nothing is getting printed. So what I will do, I'll make this as employee 2 and this one as employee 1. So this will throw null pointer exception, correct? Save all, run. See, null pointer exception. Okay, guys, can you notice some blue color lines are all coming? Because it is because of sonar lint. It is saying, see, you should not use system.out. In companies and all, they will check that. You are trying to access a null allocation, it is going to throw null pointer exception. It's asking me, are you stupid to use that? So that is why they add everything in their Eclipse, because to check all these conditions before running an application. So I hope it is clear till this point. We have not seen how to work with constructors. I think with this we can wind up. Any questions you want to ask? Java alone is not enough if you are a person out of college. If you are a person, if you are a student still studying, it is enough to work with Java, but you have to be very strong in Java. If you are a fresher out of college looking for a job, or if a person who is working and if you want to enhance your skills, Java alone is not enough. If you want to work in the Java track, in that case, you have to go through Java full stack. Every Monday, I'll be taking webinar in case in Java. The idea over here is I want to empower the students with proper Java. So that is the only reason I'm just putting my 1.5 hours of time just to teach the Java that I have learned all these years. Any questions you guys are having?